Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to AG Cornock Field Stadium, where tonight we get the second game of this four-game homestand to start off the season here for the boys lacrosse team, as they will take on the Westchester Rustin Knights. I am Tommy Tuhill with Haverford Sports Media. I am joined with my good friend Max Capella. Max, how are we doing on this fine Tuesday evening?
Great, Tommy, great.
That is great to know. Now, little thing that you can see in this, little recap, I guess, we'll give you before we start to dive into this matchup. If you were not tuned in for the last Haverford Varsity boys lacrosse game, the boys won it in dramatic fashion on St. Patty's Day in a 6-5 win over the Unionville Longhorns. Max, talk a little bit about that one.
Well, it was a hard-fought game. I mean, Fords were down, but within one most of the game. Haverford Sports Media's very own Brendan McNichol had a great game.
Got a hat trick.
And then the freshman, Liam Taylor, with the game-winning goal.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive here. As it looks like we have the captains meeting in the circle here. Now, besides that, let's do a little dive in to what this Knights team looked like last year. These two teams did see each other on the field last year up in Westchester in Chester County, Max, and that matchup did not go well for the Fords. It was an ugly weather game. There was like a snow squall. Winds were whipping. There might have even been some sleet mixed in there. They ended up losing a heartbreaker 6-5 to a team that was, by the way, Westchester Rustin is a smaller school than Haverford. So usually in the football, you know how it's 6A, 5A? Rustin's a 5A school. But for lacrosse, it's 3A, 2A. So Haverford being a 3A school, the Rustin Knights are a 2A school. But, besides that, Max, talk a little bit more about this Rustin team.
Well, this Rustin team, this is their first game of their season, even though Haverford is starting off 1-0. Last year in the District 1 2A playoffs, they were the 2 seed, but they lost in the semis. But since 2A is small, they didn't get a state run.
Even though they were one of the better teams to really show up in that they got upset by a Central League team in Marple Newtown, who, by the way, had the brother tandem of Charlie and Brian Box. Brian Box as a freshman, led all of Delaware County in points last year as a freshman. And his older brother, Charlie, who is now a defensive midi over at, I don't know if you've ever heard of this college, but Cornell University. They're not just good at lacrosse, Max. They're a pretty smart school, too. Got the Ivy League there. That's where Charlie Box is playing there for the Big Red. But nonetheless, this Rustin team was hungry last year. And, they're a hardworking team and they're talented. Besides that, they have Jake Law, who is a long pole, who is a Towson commit, which is a high D1 school. I was told I was talking to some of the guys on the team, got a little bit of a scouting report from them. Look for Law to probably be all over the field. Probably going to play a little bit of this LSM, which is also known as a long stick midi. So he might be there near the face-off circle, trying to pick up a lot of ground balls. They'll probably use him to be on the biggest offensive threat that the Knights think the Fords have against them. And then besides that, maybe also he might, since he's such an athlete, kind of be like, if anyone followed the Fords last season when we called their games, kind of like what Henry Bard did, the Duke commit for Lower Marion last year. Maybe even try to take some shot opportunities from the long pole.
I mean, if they have a person that's that good, why not put them everywhere? It could benefit you so much.
Yeah, it's definitely something that they're going to have to take into consideration here. As, by the way, we are 4 minutes till the opening face-off. But besides that, Max, let's just take a little look into this Fords team, right? Last year, they were a 500 team before they lost in the first round of the district playoffs to Conestoga. But right now, we say New Year, they beat that Unionville team last night. or my fault, last game. So Friday night, they beat a Unionville team that went to the state playoffs. This is a state playoff caliber team they are facing tonight in the Westchester Rustin Knights. What do you think Coach Era is telling the guys going into this one?
You can't give too many shots up on defense. In this game, and it was like the last game against Unionville. Haverford gave way too many shots to Unionville, which then allowed them to score. And if they let that happen, they might just break down.
Yeah, that is something big. But I thought that besides that, Wade DeVitas, I believe, kind of held his own there. I thought he did a pretty good job with that. And then besides that, I think the defense overall played a pretty good style of play in the fact that they swarmed around and they were a little aggressive. They were able to press up on the Longhorns' attackmen and really try to make them force some errant passes. But again, you don't want to play too much defense because that means you're not giving your offense enough opportunity. And we saw a little bit in that Unionville game that these Haverford players can't score.
Yes, we did. And we saw that there was Brennan McNichol,
Nick McKendry, Kern Kranick started off the scoring. And then
Liam Taylor.
Of course, you can't forget Liam Taylor with the game.
This team's is an all-around great team. And you can't let off one person. That's one thing that's amazing. Because if you leave someone open, then you're going to get hurt.
Absolutely, that is a big thing here. Now, I think another thing that'll be big, we kind of saw it a little bit in the game on Friday. The Ford struggled, and they did last year. They struggled in the face-off circle, but this year, in that first game, they struggled a little bit, especially with it being a pull on Ben DeVitas. Now, they were able to get into a little bit of a groove in that second half, which also kind of turned the tides for the team. They were able to, start to get more offensive opportunities, and they ended up helping them win the game. But I think me personally, I think that's going to be a pretty big place to focus on tonight. Is who wins the most face-offs, I believe, will definitely have a chance. Will have a more likely shot to win this game.
Yeah, and I mean that's 100% correct because arguably the face-off is one of the most important parts in the game because that establishes who gets possession.
Yeah, to start off.
So if the more Haverford can win the face-off, the more offensive looks they can get.
Yeah, so it'll definitely be big to see there. And I mean, it's not going to have. Part of that is also, against Unionville, there weren't just there weren't clean they weren't just getting beat bad on the face-offs. It was really just ground balls. It was the ball was just laying around there, which you can see in an early game, ball just laying on the ground. No one was really able to scoop it up too well, and Unionville got a couple more of them in the first half than the Fords did, but and the end-all, be-all, Haverford ended up, I believe, having the advantage in the face-off circle.
Yeah, yes, they did because they were able to in the second half and towards the end of the game. They were able to win the face-off more often than Unionville did, but that also means that in the first half they didn't do so well. That's why they got in the hole there, and they had to keep fighting.
Yeah. Well, either way, no matter what goes on, we know it's going to be a good one, Max. Hopefully as good as it was on Friday night. Both teams in their pregame huddles talking before we get the starting lineups announced and the beautiful rendition of the national anthem being played. So we will go to a little break real quick. For Haverford Sports Media, Max Capello and Tommy Toohill, we will be back shortly.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran bare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with that beautiful rendition of the national anthem by Haverford High School's very own choir. Max, this should be a good one.
Yes, it should. It should be exciting.
I'm very intrigued here. It'll be interesting. I believe it looks like we're going to have two face-off guys that Rustin might try to throw at Haverford's Ben DeVitas here. It looks like it'll be number 7, Mac Thompson, and number 12, Jesse Virango. It'll be very interesting to see who the Knights decide to choose first. Here, as both teams are meeting in the center of the H. Remember, both goaltenders will go across, shake hands, and then both teams will go to their respective sides. Here is right now the officials just want to make sure that all the guys know, hey, listen, one hard-fought game. Keep it smart. Keep it clean. Don't need any of the extracurriculars, Max.
And, I mean, that's what it's going to be, but there might be a little bit of extracurriculars.
Rustin is in their road blues. The Fords in their home whites. DeVitas, the face-off man for the Fords. Thompson, the face-off guy for the Knights. And we will be underway as the ref has placed the ball down. And they're off. The first face-off of the night. The battle between the two, it'll go to the Knights now as they will try to get set up. They'll get their first possession on offense.
And that's something the Fords were struggling with last game, picking up those ground balls off the face-off.
It'll be very interesting to see how this one goes, as right now that was number 14, O'Hara, the junior for the Knights with it. As Thompson won the opening face-off for the Knights. We'll see how they get situated here. Nice, good pick play set up. Now there's a shot on goal. Wide. No good. Picked up by the Knights, though. But he was out of bounds. Costly turnover there. Nice shot attempt by number 4, the senior Jake Jackson. Got the nice setup and the pick play by his teammate, Marique Seaman. But Seaman was not able to get it there as the Fords had to clear. Ball was on the ground. Looked like there could have been a push call. There was not, though. And DeVitas will pick up that ground ball and try to set it up here for the Fords. Good job at Keith Heinrichs right there, able to try to set up and do the dirty work for the Fords. As now we're underway. And there we go. Brandon McNichol gets his first touch. He had the hot hand on Friday night with the hat trick. He'll give it over to the hero of the St. Patty's Day game, Liam Taylor. And now the Fords will be underway here. Freshman Nils McCallion with it now. Over to Kranick. Looks like they're going to keep Nils in the, to start at least, in the X position, and then we'll see what goes on from there. As here's McNichol looking to maybe try to get towards the net. He's going to dish it over to McKendry. Pass was a little low, did not work. Good play by the Knights defense, and now they're going to try to get up and clear. Now there it is, weaving past defenders. Number 18 for Rustin goes on. He shoots. Saved by DeVitas. He tries to get the rebound. He gets it, and he'll put it in. Number 18, Gavin Seaman, the junior defenseman, goes coast to coast. I just heard it was Jackson Lamb. Maybe I have the wrong roster, but I believe I had it correct. Either way, face-off now underway. Ball is still loose on the ground, nowhere to be found. There it is now, still loose. DeVitas trying to pick it up, and he will. DeVitas finally picks up the ground ball. There's a face-off win for the Fords. They touch in the box, and they'll be underway.
Well, here the Fords have to try and get in the crease so they can get some offensive action. As we see Kranick.
Nice spin move here by Kranick. Then he'll just not really find much of it after that. He'll just have to dish it off to McCallion. And the Fords will have to settle back down. Here's Taylor on the move. He tries to shoot just a little wide, and Fords do beat it out, though. They will retain possession. Here as the Fords set back up. The Fords are looking over their options now. Already down 1-0 early here. Got to make sure they try to keep the pressure up as the ball is loose. Scooped up by the midi. And now sent away. Rustin, really quick, already forcing the Fords to turn it over a little bit, and they'll set it up. Not the best start right now if you are the Fords.
Not at all, not at all. I mean, our Fords need to... As Wade can't get it there.
Looks like there was a goal scored by the Knights. Nice little snipe there by Merrick Seaman. Looks like the Seaman brothers have connected. Both have gotten goals already for the Knights. Now it is 2-0 Westchester. Rustin, 8:11 left in the opening quarter. DeVitas won the last face-off. Let's see if he's able to do it this time, and he is. Now DeVitas trying to run in. There's going to shoot. Save by the goaltender. Great save by the goalie, Billy Carney. And now that'll lead to another Knights clearing attempt. And now they're just going to get set up here. Nice look there for the Fords. And good shot by DeVitas. It just didn't go in. Better play by Corney.
Yeah, but I mean this is what they need. They need their guys like Ben DeVitas to step up and take shots. That's what they need to do. I mean, he won the faceoff, which is great, and he got all the way to the crease.
And now, just like number 4, Jake Jackson does right there, I believe they've been running this little pick play from the X position Rustin has, and it's really been confusing this Fords defense. These Jackson wide open, leaping through the crease. Beats DeVitas. Now makes it 3-0 Knights, 7:18 left. Really not the ideal start that the Fords wanted at all.
Yeah, and I think right And as looks like they're switching up their face-off to Liam Taylor.
It does. Taylor with the face-off attempt now. Bodies are still flying. Ball is loose. No one seems to have picked it up yet. And now it's picked up by Rustin. Taylor trying to get him around. Does not work, though. They will get the clear out. And the Knights will try to set up shop. Interesting choice there by Coach Era setting up. I thought DeVitas was fending well in the face-off circle. But
yes, he
decided
was.
to try to maybe get a little spark, putting Taylor in instead.
I mean, you always got to try something new. I mean, you can never keep everything the same. As that shot ricochets off a crossbar and into the stands.
As that was a rip just off the crossbar. Good look there for the Knights. Ford's right now just not hustling to that loose ball. The Knights will keep possession. Looks like this Rustin high-powered offense will continue to put the pressure on. There's that pick play again. They tried to set it up, didn't work. But they kept the ball. Possession with it now is Nate Peachin, number 9. They'll get it. There's a shot a little wide. I don't know if there was an illegal screen. But either way, it's a turnover. Fords will finally get the possession here. Now they're going to have to clear. 6:08 left in the opening quarter. The Westchester Rustin Knights 3, your Haverford Ford 0. Here's right now. Look at that. We had Wade DeVitas going all the way out to the 35-yard line, 5 yards past the box. Passes it up to his brother, Ben. And now the Fords are going to get set back up here. Very interesting choice on that clear. I guess the way these polls have been playing early, the coaches didn't want the polls to have a chance to make a mistake. They just trusted DeVitas a lot there to pass it up to his older brother, and it ended up working anyway. Here's now Christos McKendry with it now. Goes around. They're trying to look for something at least, is all that Haverford is. Now Nels McCallion, the freshman, not really seeing anything going on. This Rustin defense is pretty aggressive right now. They're swarming around, looking like a lot of sharks that kind of look to be smelling blood in the water. There's Liam Taylor, another freshman, looking around. Can't find much. Pass, deflected, picked up. Rustin again forcing a turnover, and now looking to clear. As Carney has it, the Rustin goaltender looking. He'll pass it to his defenseman. Nice, beautifully set up pass over to Seaman. Seaman will now get it set up. He'll touch in the box, and we'll go from there.
Those lazy passes are something that the Fords need to keep an eye on. I mean, that's the second time this quarter they keep not keeping track of what their passes look like.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I'm seeing this Rustin defense kind of set up right now, it really looks like they're looking at this Fords team and they're like they're kind of just like standing there waiting for us to make the mistake, like they're not really bringing the punch to us, and we should just bring the punch to them. As right there, it looks like a Rustin defender just falls down, picked up by a midi for the Fords. He'll drop it. It'll go back. Not what you need right there. A failed clear attempt. Seaman with the shot. No good. DeVitas stands tall, but Rustin beats it out and will retain possession.
Now, something these Fords need to keep an eye out for on the field is this pick and roll that Rustin's been running. That's what they've got. That's how they've gotten, I think, all 3 of their goals, right?
And now right there, another beautiful setup. They made a little wall. No one doesn't really like there's a lot of communication on that defensive end. And there's a goal. Number 11, Aaron Cotter, sophomore for the Knights, gets it to go. Now it's 4-0, 3:39. If the Fords don't wake up soon, this might turn into a runaway, Max.
Yeah, but like earlier, I said that this is all going to depend on their defense, and so far that's what it's been. Their defense has been very, very lazy. They need to step up here and try and figure out what they want to do on defense and stop this WC Rustin team.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see there. Another one face-off. Ball is loose. There's a body, and there's a flag thrown by the official. Looks like the Fords will go man up now. They really haven't been able to get any offense working at all night. This might be able to give them the spark they need. Looks like I don't know if they're calling. I don't think they're calling a push. I don't know what they're calling there, but it looks like it might be a minute penalty. Here, and it looks like it'll be on number 7. Mac Thompson is going to have to take the knee in the box. Nick McKendry will set up for the Fords. Here's a chance, Thomas. They're giving the Knights are giving the Fords a chance here to maybe try to crawl their way back into this one. As DeVitas gives it over to Taylor. Now over to Nick McKendry. Back to Taylor. Over to McNichol. Now to Kranick. Kranick looking. Over to Taylor. Taylor whipping that pass. Shot attempt. Doesn't go. Fords will beat it out, though. They will keep possession. I believe that was DeVitas with the shot there. Nice, quick, touchy passes by this Fords offense. And it was a good look. They just couldn't get it to go there, Max.
Yeah, and that's something they need to keep trying. They need to keep trying to get their looks at the goal so they can score.
As Kranick with it now, his pass, little lollipop action, did not work. It was intercepted, and here come the Knights. This could get ugly here, Max. There's a shot. Saved by DeVitas. He stands tall. Shot by Peachin. Does not go. And now the Fords are going to try to clear here. Taylor, the freshman, will be able to take it up. Now he's going to give it over to Nick McKendry. He'll give it over to McCallion at the X. They'll play a game of catch. Now back over again. Shot. No good by DeVitas. Carney was able to make himself big there. Kind of cut off any angles for DeVitas. Just missed, but Fords will keep the ball with them. 2:10 now. 4-0 Knights over the Fords. Here comes Taylor. He's trying to find anything. There's really not much space. These Rustin defenders are giving the Fords credit to them. As there's DeVitas. Gives it over to Kranick. Kranick looking to maybe try to penetrate. He gets pushed into the crease. Another flag will fly. Fords will get another man up opportunity here with 1:45 left.
The Fords right now, they need to just go to work. Get out, try and get out this hole as quick as possible. You can't stay here. It does not benefit you at all.
Here as it looks like the Fords will be ready to start it out here as McKendry will hold it. And now the Fords will go. Taylor with it now. Back to McKendry. McKendry over to DeVitas. There's McNichol. They're trying to get these Rustin defenders to bite. Doesn't work. DeVitas had a rip, but it just went right into Carney's stick. Rustin goalie, again, has not been tested too much, but DeVitas has really been trying to go at him. Has not been able to go. As now Carney is able to pass it up to Seaman. And he'll send it up for the Knights here. Fords have really just kind of been shooting themselves in the foot here, Max. They really haven't been able to communicate great on the defensive end, which has hurt them, especially with these pick plays that Rustin loves to run. And that's why this game is really a 4-0 game right now. Here's now Rustin again. Seaman with it. Looking over. He'll give it to O'Hora. O'Hora with it. He's going to try to cut in on Taylor. Doesn't work. Now they just left him wide open. Shot off the crossbar. Picked up by Seaman. You got to watch here. They might try to hold for the last shot. Seaman battling off defenders. Gets another good opportunity. DeVitas standing tall there, but does not matter. The Knights are beating out. Or they're just out hustling the Fords. They're almost outplaying them and outclassing them in every single way right now, Max.
Yeah, and the Fords, they just need to step up. They need to pay attention, calm down. They're rattled right now.
They really are here. There's the X-Men trying to get it up. Does not work. Another save by DeVitas. He stood tall in this quarter, and that'll do it for the end of the first. That shot was by number 4, Jake Jackson. He already has one. He thought he could get two. Didn't go, though. And now at the end of one quarter of play, Rustin is up on the Fords 4-0. Max, what does this home team have to do to try to maybe kick things into their direction?
They need to calm down. They're rattled right now. I mean, this Rustin team came out hot. They hit them with the pick and roll. They hit them with the pick plays like 3 times for the first 3 goals. And now it just like bamboozled Haverford. They need to just slow down, take their time, and figure out what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it looked like. It looked like the defense just was, they were just leaving DeVitas out to dry there. Wasn't much. It just seemed like there was like lack of communication. They were just completely missing guys, didn't know what was going on. And, Rustin was, credit to them, they were able to capitalize a lot. And by the way, as we get this little break, as the teams are huddling up, especially the officials here in the middle, you know what, Max? It is getting a little cold out.
Yeah, yes,
I mean, the wind is whipping. The lights are on at AG Cornog Field. Beautiful. I mean, this sky, the clouds are pretty interesting. You could almost put them in a painting. And you know what? You like paintings in your house sometimes because it adds to a barren wall. Well, I know some people might be trying to look. They're like, you know what? I'm tired of this wall in my house. I want a new wall because I want a new house. Well, if you're looking for a new house, our good friends at Wagner Real Estate could probably help you out. So if you're looking for a new home, Wagner Real Estate will help find the right home for you and your family. These guys are real estate professionals, and they're Havertown locals who have passed down the real estate savvy through 4 generations. If you're interested, please call 610-446-2300 and set up a consultation with Wagner Real Estate today. Thank you to our good friends at Wagner Real Estate for your contributions to Haverford Sports Media. We care so much about it, and I don't know if we could be here without you. Because now we're going to get set for the second quarter of action here. Max, what's going to be one of the keys for the Fords to maybe try to get on the board in this second quarter?
The face-off right here.
And
Great win by DeVitas. Now they just need to get their touch in the box and take their time.
As here we go, DeVitas gives it over to McNichol. McNichol will fire it over, and it'll go to McKendry. The Fords are now touched in the box. Now they can just settle down, relax, and try to find the best opportunity for themselves. There will be substitutions being made. We'll see what works here. Looks like DeVitas has it, and he'll just hold on to it. Now he'll give it over to Christos McKendry. Over to his older brother, Nicholas. The brothers will play a little game of catch. Now Christos will give it over to DeVitas, who fires it right back over to the young man. He's looking around defenders, trying to run around. Can't find much. He'll dish it back over to Kranick. Kranick over to McCallion. McCallion back to Kranick. Ford's just going to take their time here. Now McCallion going to hold. Fires it over to McNichol. He'll pass it over to McKendry. Pass again, just a little bit at the feet. Christos McKendry was not able to pick it up. Ball bounces out of bounds. Costly turnover there for the Fords. Can't afford to have it, especially with the deficit that you have, as the Knights go to clear. And they do. Here, Merrick Seaman with a now. Both Seaman brothers have scored, if I'm not mistaken, Max, in this game already for the Knights. As there's a great pass and a goal. Seaman really, facilitating all that. He'll give it over to Aaron Cotter. I believe that's going to be his second. Now it makes it 5-0, 10:22 left in the second quarter. Pretty nightmare situation that I start off the quarter for the Fords there, Max.
Yeah, and again, the Fords just need to first win these faceoffs, and if they don't, they just need to play tough defense. That's their one problem right now. They are just getting stunned by this Westchester Rustin team, and it's not working well for them. That happened in the Unionville game, but also we were able to fight back. So the Fords need to take their time and figure it out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they're able to do that. By the way, just a little fact here. In under a half, they've let up as many goals to Rustin than they did to Unionville in the whole game. So hopefully maybe the Fords will be able to crawl, scratch and claw their way back into this one. This is now 5-0 with under 10 minutes left in this first half. Fords just got to try to find something to build on here, Max. And maybe the freshman Liam Taylor will bring it. Shot! Carney able to scoop it up. Doesn't matter. Taylor got his own rebound. He'll dish it over to McNichol. McNichol got bothered or got haggled by two Rustin defenders. Doesn't matter. They overcompensate. Shot and goal! Curry Kranick starts off the scoring again for the Fords. Now it's 5-1. Great job by the Fords there. Battling off double teams, picking up the loose ball, finding the open man in the front of the crease, and Kranick delivered.
Great job by the Fords, and this is what they need. They need constant offensive pressure because then they break down the Westchester Rustin defense. It comes back to the face-off. Ben DeVitis won the face-off. He gave the Fords possession, and they were able to get constant offensive pressure.
Here now, maybe a chance if DeVitis wins this one, the Fords can maybe try to get rolling and get a little run going. Try to carry the momentum from that electric Kranick goal, and DeVitis wins the face-off. Now he runs in, gives it back to feeding the hot hand. Nails McGalley, the freshman gets a goal right off the bat. That's 2 goals in about 6 seconds. My goodness, here come the Fords.
Again, it's the offensive pressure off the face-off. Ben won him the face-off, and he gave him the score.
Right away. I mean, you know what it is also, Max? I'm seeing these passes. They're not just lopping them over. They're quick, and they're decisive, and they're just stretching out this Rustin defense right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're making sure they can't get any possession. Now, let's see if Ben DeVitis can get another face-off win to get these Fords another try on offense.
DeVitis has kind of been feeling it right now. Ball is still loose on the ground. No one has yet to pick it up. Ball is still loose. Now there is a whistle. There might be a push call. Possession will go to the Fords. You can kind of feel it sometimes in basketball, Max. You kind of feel a little bit of a run going on. Maybe we're seeing a little bit here at A.G. Cornog Field with the Fords right now.
And I feel it. I can feel it. These Fords are feeling hot right now.
Although it looks like right there, I don't know what it was, but there's a turnover. Can't afford to have that if you're the Fords. Rustin now on the clear. And they go. Didn't matter, though. There was a play down at the end. DeVitis stood strong, and there was a big hit by one of the Fords defensemen. Now they will be on the clear. As DeVitis here gives it over to McNichol, the senior. He had a hat trick last game. He kind of got put down. Now he's looking. Fords have the numbers. And now they're just going to set it up and try to find the right play there. Right there. Off the clear even, we had the midfielders from Rustin trying to put 2 on McNichol. It kind of seemed like a careless double team for a second.
Yeah, and that's something that these Fords have to take advantage of. Careless mistakes by this Westchester team because they don't know what they're doing because we're giving them constant offensive pressure.
And now there's the freshman Taylor trying to pass it back to McNichol. Ground ball. He's being heckled. It'll be scooped up now by the Knights. And now you got to make sure they don't get a transition goal here. Ford's defense does a good job at slowing down the speed of the Rustin attack. And now they'll just set up shop. Score is 5-2. The Westchester Rustin Knights leading your Haverford Fords. 7:20 left in the first half here. And there is one of the one of the facilitators of this Rustin offense, did not get it to go. Loose ball now. Ford's really not being able to pick him up, which has kind of been hurting them. Rustin will keep possession again, Max.
Yeah, and I mean, these ground balls have been something that, especially going off the last game, that's something that they couldn't figure out. They couldn't get anything off the face-off. Right now, they can't get anything, probably regardless.
Here's they're going to try to get set up. There's another pick play shot. Stuffed by DeVitas. And now the rebound goes in, and it'll be a goal. Number 9, Nate Peachin gets it. The original attempt was by Jake Jackson. It really looks like Rustin likes to set up that play with Jackson getting a pick at the X position, and then he'll run around the net and try to shoot right outside the crease. DeVitas did a great job there, blocking the first one, but just an unlucky bounce. It went right into Peachin's stick, and it's rare that you're going to be able to get back-to-back saves like that, Max.
It is, but I also think that DeVitas is probably that good. I mean, he was really close there.
And now flags will go out. I believe that's going to be a slash call. The Fords will go back, man up, but DeVitas won the faceoff again, Max, and the Fords will get set up in the offensive end.
Yep, and that's something that DeVitas just recently this game, he's stepped up after the first 5 goals that this Westchester team had.
I believe that's going to be Thompson again with the penalty, calling him for the slash. And even though it looked like it would have been a turnover, either way, I'm assuming the Fords, it's just like hockey, they will get offensive possession here. And they do, coming out of this end of play. McNichol over to DeVitas, now to Taylor. Here are the Fords. Again, man up. They're going to maybe be able to try to find the open guy and leak open the pressure. Doesn't work, though. Another errant pass. And once again, an easy clear by the Knights. They tried to do a backdoor pass. I don't know what that was. I believe there's still a ground ball, but it was picked up again by the Knights. Never mind, it's still loose. Picked up by Nick McKendry after it rolled across the 50. Here come the Fords now. Is this some sloppy lacrosse we're seeing right now, Max?
Yeah, by both teams, but also this Westchester team has been capitalizing on our mistakes, and we just need to start capitalizing on theirs, like right here.
Here's McNichol over to McKendry, back to McNichol. They're going to try to maybe find a play where they can just get the open man. Taylor right there, just force the pass. Young mistake, just can't do that. Brady Founds, the long stick. Mitty was able to get the interception there. And then coast to coast, and right there, an errant. I mean, both teams are they're really just being sloppy right now, Max. It's just errant pass after errant pass.
Yeah, and especially with this Westchester team, they've been making many mistakes, and we just aren't doing anything about it. That's something we need to just start doing.
There was a beautiful pass by Wade DeVitas over to the alley to get the clear set up there for the Fords. So now they will get their offense all set up here. Maybe try to dig it. They were down by 3. Now they are down by 4. Now they're going to try to dig into this lead as there's only 4:35 left in this first half. As now we have DeVitas over to Kranick. My fault. Kranick over to DeVitas. As there is good passing. McNichol shot just a little high. Fords will keep possession, though. It looks like the Fords are doing a good job at running these plays here, and they're trying to find an open guy almost if I were talking hockey, it would be like the slot area where they're going to be able to just rip it, but not able to manage that there. As McCallion gets stripped. Does not matter now. Rustin back on the attack. As there's Jackson with it. Now over to Seaman. He's going to try to dodge in. His shot saved by DeVitas. The falling Wade DeVitas was able to pick that up. Now still a ground ball. Finally picked up. But once again, by the Knights and not by the Fords. This has really been plaguing this Fords team all night, Max. They have not been able to pick up ground balls.
And it's hurting them right now because by not being able to pick up the ground ball, they're not being able to go on try and get a transition score or pressure on this Westchester defense.
Now there's an errant pass by this Rustin team. They're trying to play it for. They're going to call basically a backcourt. And now the Fords will try to run it up and get going as McKendry gives it over to Kranick. And there was slashing while he was on the ground. Flag is thrown. That was uncalled for, Max. Anytime a man's on the ground, you never try to hit him, let alone in the face.
No, I mean, that's just not even an unwritten rule. Everybody knows that hitting somebody in the face is just not okay.
Well, especially when it comes to like that. That's just classless, honestly. Anyway, that'll put the Fords again man up now. 2:45 left in the first half. Fords now maybe going to try to dig back into this lead. As there's a rip. Look to have been off of Carney's stick. Doesn't matter that they're going to give Rustin the possession. I don't understand why they got that. It looked like it was a shot on goal. And then they beat out the shot anyway. As the coaches of Haverford are absolutely outraged by it. And everybody is outraged by it right now. Everyone on the Ford sideline is not happy with the officials. I think they are realizing their mistake, Max. Kind of seems like they're slowing down. Now the Rustin coaches are, it's understandable. Now they're upset about it because if you make your call, you got to stand with your call.
Yeah, you do.
This is a confusing time right now. And it looks like Rustin sideline might have to make sure they're wise about their word choice before they make a mistake. Both coaching staffs not happy with the officials right now. We're just going to try to find out where we're starting. It looks like it'll be Haverford ball, and they will have to touch back into the box, which they just did. And now we're back underway. I believe the Fords are still man up. As now there's Taylor to DeVitas, back over to Taylor. Ford's now going to try to whip it around. Now over to McNichol. He'll shoot it. Bouncer doesn't go. Ford's beat out. The shot. They'll keep possession. 1:59 left in the first half. There's Kranick. He started the scoring for the Fords. Passed it over to the freshman Nils McCallion, who got his first ever high school goal. And there's McNichol again. Long shot. Bouncer not going. And that'll be the end of the man up. Kranick beat out the shot again. But, right now, Max, it looks like that second shot from McNichol kind of looks like this Fords team on the offensive end is just trying to force some things right now.
Yeah, and they might just be desperate right now. They might just be trying to find any shot.
There's a rip from McKendry, top right corner, and it's in. My goodness, what a shot. That was a great look, and it was executed perfectly. Kranick faded away, almost looked like a Kobe fadeaway jumper, passed it over to a cutting Nick McKendry. McKendry sliced right through the defender, wide open chance to shoot, and picked his corner and hit it perfectly. 6-3 now, Rustin with the lead, 1:32 left in the first half.
And right now it looks like these Fords are trying their best to crawl back while being down by 3.
There's the face-off, this time won by Rustin. And now they're maybe going to try to fly around and get a goal. Quick whistle. Timeout awarded to Rustin. As right now, I'll tell you what, for the end of this, for the end of the first quarter, the score being 4-0, Fords are definitely making a valiant effort to come back in this one, Max.
Yeah, they are. And all they need to do is just keep pressure. And the more pressure, the more shots. The more shots, the more likely something's going to go in because this Rustin team is just going to get careless.
Yeah, that is true. And another thing that I'm kind of seeing is that Rustin might be losing their heads a little bit in this game. They're kind of seeming to take a little bit of, there were some slashes. The one penalty that they had where it kind of ended up leading to the pressure for the Nick McKendrew goal where they slashed Kern Kranick in the head when he was already on the ground. Kind of shows that, maybe they're kind of losing their temper a little bit. But, besides that, not much else I could say here. If you're the Fords, listen, you lost the point differential, right? They were -4 going into the next 3 quarters. So now you got to go +5 in the next 3 to try to do something. Right now they're +1.
Yep.
So you're hoping that maybe the Fords will be able to find something here. Maybe if the Fords can ideally, Max, they'll maybe get a stop here against this Rustin offense that, by the way, has been able to show time and time again, especially with their set picks and their pick plays that they have, to score whenever they really want to on this Fords defense. But if they can get a stop here and they're able to maybe try to get a good offensive opportunity, maybe even a goal in the last minute 10 here, that could definitely shift the momentum of this game.
Yes, it could. And we just need to get constant pressure as that shot misses.
There was a Jake Jackson shot stopped by DeVitas off the pipe, and then he out-hustles the Rustin attackman to make it so the Forwards have an opportunity to clear. Right there, that is a staple of Wade DeVitas' game as the Forwards goaltender. Not only is he able to stop shots, but whenever he sees it, he's able to then out-hustle the attackman from the other team. Now, as there is a timeout awarded for Coach Era and the Forwards, as they will go over, as there is 43.8 left in the first half of this one. Both teams talking over what they want to do in this last little bit. By the way, just in case you guys don't know, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting close to some Phillies baseball. It's felt like a long time since that crushing World Series loss, but guess what? The Fighting's got Trey Turner in free agency. And I don't know if you guys have followed the World Baseball Classic, but Max, he's been feeling it. And he just absolutely crushed a solo home run in the World Baseball Classic final against Japan just now.
Now he leads the World Baseball Classic in home runs.
You know what? Honestly, after spring training, he's just able to lock in. He's playing fun. He's just swinging the bat very well. Got to be honest, that sounds like good news for Phillies fans.
Sounds like good news to me.
Maybe we're going to have that bell be rung a lot over the rest of this spring, summer, and hopefully leading into fall and October.
Hopefully.
As anyway, we'll get back to the lacrosse game now. There is lacrosse being played here at AG Cornog Field. Max, if you're Coach Era right now and you're this Fords team, who are you looking to try to maybe get a goal here in this last 43.8?
I don't even know right now. I mean, there's so many of the guys have gotten good looks, but so many of the guys are also just desperate, chucking random shots in. So they need to slow down, take their time, and realize what they're trying to do on offense so they can get a score.
Yes, I believe the Fords will definitely do that. I think one person you got to look at is, I think it could be Kern Kranick. He's kind of, even when he's started the scoring, but he's also helped out the Fords as he takes a shot there, ate up by Carney. Maybe the shot was a little too early. Now, as the Knights look to clear, less than 30 seconds left in the first half. Carney with it now. He's going to lob it over. Ball is loose, now picked up by the Knights. Now they're going to maybe try to get an offensive opportunity of their own. As there it is, it's going to Seaman, who's been very good for this Knights team all night in setting up and scoring. He tries to go over, shot blocked by DeVitas. It's outside the crease. The half will end as Jake Jackson has some words for the Fords defenders. Looks like Wade DeVitas will give him a little piece of his own mind. And that'll do it for the first half. The Westchester Rustin Knights are up on the Haverford Fords 6-3 right now, but there is 24 minutes left of regulation lax, and there will definitely be a lot more action coming, and this game is far from over. Max, what did you see from that first half that were positives for the Fords?
I saw that the Fords are able to push when they're on offense. They're able to push the ball in the crease when they're in the box, and they just need to keep that constant pressure, and that'll allow them to get open looks because this Westchester Rustin team does when they get when there's constant shots being shot, I mean, they break down. They don't know what to do, but that's the same thing with us. So both ways, we need to kind of just step up.
I think something that we can kind of take into consideration here. Ben DeVitas has done a pretty good job of winning some of these faceoffs, Max. It kind of helped shift the momentum there for the Fords in that second quarter, give them a lot more opportunities, and they were able to kind of capitalize on some of them.
I totally agree with you. I totally do.
And it'll be interesting to see what goes on from there. But we got about 8 minutes and 40 seconds left of this halftime. And, as both coaching staffs are talking over with themselves and their respective teams, we're going to sit back and take a little bit of a break here. For Haverford Sports Media, I'm Tommy Zuho, Max Capello. We will be back shortly. And hello and welcome back to AG Cornog Field Stadium here, as we are about to get second half action underway between the visiting Knights of Westchester Rustin and your very own Haverford Fords. Max, going into the second half, the last 24 minutes of regulation lacrosse, what do the Fords got to do to try to get themselves closer in this one?
They have to attack. And play really good defense. Their defense has been probably a little lackluster for this past half, but if they can step their defense up, and then that'll give them a ton of offensive chances, which then lets them score even more.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. I think that'll happen. Because, we've really been talking about it. The face-offs, the ground balls will definitely help them out. I feel like if they get more ground balls when it's in between the both boxes in the 50, and even when Rustin starts having some of these errant passes, if they're able to pick up these ground balls, maybe it'll help them have a chance to get onto the attack. But besides that, I think this defense has to be a little bit more pesty against this Rustin attack. I feel like they're letting too many good looks up and kind of hanging Wade DeVitas out to dry.
Yeah, and that's something it's gonna be like this the whole game. But if they can step up, then that'll be perfect for the Haverford offense, because then that gives them a ton more chances to score.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully that pesty defense will be able to help out the Fords. By the way, as we're about to set up this second half, we want to thank our sponsors at Cunningham Pest Control. If you are you in need of someone to take care of your pest problems? Cunningham Pest Control is a locally owned pest control company that provides both residential and commercial services to the greater Havertown area. The folks at Cunningham handle rodent control, insect baiting and spraying, bird control, and more. If you are interested, please call 610-789-7378 to request a consultation from Cunningham Pest Control today. Thank you to our sponsors at Cunningham Pest Control. We thank you for all that you do. No one likes living with pests, Max. Nobody.
I think you're in the box with one right now.
Maybe. Looks like Rustin will win the opening face-off. Thompson beats DeVitas, and now they're going to set it up to Jackson. Now they'll give it over to Seaman, who's already had one. I believe his brother has had another one of the 6 for the Knights here, as he's going to try to get something set up here. Over to Jackson. He's going to try to do a spin move around the cage. Nothing's really working. Pass to Seaman, and he'll score. Nice play there by the Knights. Jackson to Seaman. Seaman was able to penetrate the Ford's defense there and was able to cash in for a goal. Now it's 7-3 Knights. 11:21 left in the third quarter. Max, not the greatest start. Max, not the greatest start to the second half that the Fords wanted right there.
No, it is not.
Now it looks like already off the rip, they're going to have a different face-off guy again. They're going to go over to Taylor for it instead of DeVitas after Thompson had beaten DeVitas in the face-off. Now this one doesn't go to the Fords yet. Now it will. Finally, a ground ball picked up by the Fords, and his pocket gets picked right away. Not what you want if you're the Fords right now. Not a great start. Now the officials again had to set things up. Sorry, Mr. Seaman, you have to start at the 35. Right there, that was a great pickup there by Ryan Vieira off of the face-off. But right again, he's got his pocket picked. Lost the ball right away. Another turnover. Right now, if you're down by 4, the little things will kill you, Max. The little things will kill you.
Yep.
Here's the Fords. We'll just try to maybe get a stop here. As Seaman has it. Over to his teammate. The Knights still setting up now. Good passing still as there's Jackson. Now over in the front. No. Good with the shot. Great rip by number 9. Petchin. Petchin's already had a couple good looks tonight, and there's Jackson again. He's really just been able to set up shop. Errant pass, though. Ball's still loose. Now it's finally scooped up by a Rustin player. Fords, again, not able to capitalize on any of these mistakes by this Knights team. Here's Jackson again trying to get set up. That pass is way off. And they'll finally call the over and back. Fords will take possession. Looked like Seaman just absolutely lost his stick there. I don't know what happened. It just kind of flew.
Probably trying to throw it up just to stop the ball.
I don't know what it was, but it didn't seem to work, whatever it was. We have 9:45 left in the third quarter. 7-3 Knights over the Fords right now. Fords got to try to start to right the ship. They want to try to stay in this one. Hereas Taylor will touch in the box and try to help that work for the Fords. Stavitas now over to McNichol. His pass looked to be deflected, but Kranick was able to run over and scoop it up. McNick back over to DeVitas. Now over to McKendry. McKendry has one of the Fords 3. That cross pass was no good. Scooped up. Now he's going to try to clear here. And it's going to be intercepted by Kranick. He's going to shoot. Just misses the opportunity. The bouncer was no good, but he'll beat out the shot. The Fords will take possession. That is what I'm talking about right there, Max. That is where the opportunities to capitalize on mistakes, and you don't do that, will absolutely kill you.
That is 100% true. And a great defensive play by Kranick, but he just couldn't follow through on the transition.
Now there's DeVitas trying to maybe get something started up. Went into the spin cycle. Now, didn't find anything after that. Dished it over to McNichol. And now Kranick, who's really been cooking right now. There's a bad pass, and it'll be a turnover. It'll go back over to the Knights. Knights will get possession. 8:32 left. 7-3 is the score. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the second half of our doubleheader here at Haverford Sports Media. And in case you guys didn't hear, in the first half, softball stayed undefeated. They hung on to beat Carroll 3-2. And there's a flag thrown on Kranick, and it looks like the little things are just mounting up and building here for the Fords. As Rustin will get set up now. But as I was saying, softball hung on 3-2. In that game, we had our beautiful play-by-play announcer, Thomas St. Joseph. His wonderful voice was guiding you through that. He is working both games. He is here with us now. Thomas, you're great with your weather reports. I know you were working the camera. Want to give us a little weather report of what it's like now that the sun's dropped?
It's real cold, Tui. It's real cold. It's really cold and windy and cold. And it's really cold. I can't say anything else. I got up there and I froze. My hands froze. My legs froze. And then it got windy. And I froze all over again.
That just sounds like a wonderful, grand old time there, Thomas. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, as we are bringing you these Haverford Sports Media productions, sometimes we have the lonely old cameraman that has to sit up there in the cold and the wind and accidentally underdresses for his role because he thought he was working stream the whole game, and it doesn't end up like that because you're shorthanded and people are working 6 hours a day. As there was a shot didn't go. DeVitas tried to out-hustle it. Didn't work, though. Rustin will back it up. But anyway, it's always sometimes the little things that go on in average sports media that you guys just don't see behind the scenes. So we want to thank the dedicated members here. We had multiple people on stats that showed up. There was a flag thrown. Don't know. It might have been on Rustin. Might be on Seaman. As it looks like Seaman is being penalized. I don't know what for. But doesn't matter now. Fords had the possession. I believe we're going to have a clear. Ladies and gentlemen, we have no idea what's going on right now. We're just here for the ride right now. As it looks like DeVitas has it by the H. And play will resume. DeVitas now with it, touches in the box, sets it up now for the Fords. He'll dish it over to Taylor. Taylor, the hero of the game on Friday night, where he scored with 1.2 seconds left against Unionville. Maybe he'll have something more like that, except now it looks like he's making some more freshman mistakes. Another turnover for the young man. And here comes the pole going over. Great passing, and he misses the pass. DeVitas. It was a good stop by the defense. Wade DeVitas ran all the way out there to try to get a ground ball. Kind of shows you how aggressive this Fords team is starting to turn. Here as the Knights now set up. There's Jackson. Jackson's been really doing a lot from behind the crease and then cutting in front. There's a rip. No good. Bounce it just wide. Bounce it. That's not even a word in the English dictionary. I meant to say bounced. Yeah, I said bounced it. It's not a word in the English dictionary. Anyway, Rustin again. There's a quick turn, and there's another goal. Knights again. There's not much you can do when the defense just lets a free man run right in. That one's going to be 9, Nate Peachin. That might be a second or third at this point. It's now 8-3, 6:17 left in the third quarter. Max, this Fords team needs to kind of try to step it up a little bit more. They want to try to make sure they don't get blown out here.
Yeah, and it's right now, as you said earlier, the defense needs to just be pests. They need to be annoying. And that's something they haven't been doing
There's a face-off. I think it was a push.
Penalty on
Rustin.
Yeah.
It'll keep the Fords.
But this Fords defense has not been great so far, so they need to kind of step it up, try and get as many stops as possible, so this offense can just do what they did on Friday.
Fetus will give it over to McNichol. McNichol got a stick in his face. Flags will be thrown now. And the Fords will go man up after this. So that'll be big. Here's now McNichol over to DeVitas. DeVitas trying to cut in. He just gets buried from behind. I thought that could have been a push. Another flag flies. The Knights don't like it, but I believe that's the right call right there. And the Fords might be up 2 men at this point. This will be crucial, Max. Absolutely, indubitably crucial.
Yeah, and they need to capitalize on their man-up situations. As they're up 2 men, right? Because 2 penalties.
Yeah, it should be. I believe there's a slash, and there's, I don't know if it's a check from behind, I believe is what they're calling. Maybe a cross check. Number 19 and number 30 will be out. So that is Magic and Purcell. Both out. both middies, both out for the Knights. Now they're going to have to try to get into their box in one scenario here, which is usually the last thing you want to do if you're a lacrosse team. There's a rip by McKendry. Save by the tender. Great job. Once again by Carney. Stood tall. Bounced it right off his stick. Good look there by the forwards. Just didn't work out. McNichols' pass was deflected. Ball is now loose. Scrumming around. No one can pick it up. It's still loose. Still loose. My goodness, it's still loose. Picked up by Kranick now. I think he just lost it. It went out of bounds. And after all that, it'll be Rustin possession. Now the Knights will try to clear. There's the Carney heave. And now here come the Knights, maybe trying to see if they got the man advantage. Looks like he's kind of getting trapped right now. He'll split the double team now. Timeout called by Rustin. And right now you can kind of see on the face of some of these Fords players, they're just absolutely frustrated and kind of in disbelief.
Yeah, and the Fords, they're in a 5-0 hole, but it's a possibility to come back no matter what, because anything can happen. They still have a whole, another 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. Anything can happen here. The Fords just need to step up, calm down, stop forcing, and they just need to figure out what they want to do here.
Yeah, they got 16:24 left to score 5 goals, so we'll see if they're going to be able to do that. And in some cases, I feel like this Fords team, in the great words of the movie Anger Management, maybe you just got to settle down, sit back, and go, ooh, Fraba. And it'll all be good from there. Honestly, this defense has kind of looked a little bamboozled at some points from these pick plays set up, and honestly, just opponents just running absolutely free right in front of the goal, really almost letting DeVitis out to dry in some cases. But, besides that, there's not much else I can say. I mean, the Fords are really, at this point, they're really beating themselves more than anything. I mean, it's not communicating on the defensive end. It's sloppy turnovers. It's not, crisp passing, and it's not getting ground balls and not capitalizing on mistakes that, Rustin makes. It's really like those 5 things is the reason why this game is an 8-3 game and it's not any closer.
Yeah, and the one big thing for this game especially has been the ground balls. They have not been able to field them cleanly for the whole game. I mean, you just saw in a perfect example down on this side of 50 where your Fords couldn't pick up a ground ball, and that's what's going to hurt you because that means you can't translate anything to offense, whether it's on the offensive side after a missed shot or a bad pass, or it's a errant pass by Westchester. The Fords just need to figure it out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what goes on here. Honestly, if you're the Knights from Westchester Rustin, you might just want to start to hold on here and just let things go. As Seaman had a shot, rip right off the post. There's a loose ball. Scooped up by Rustin. And there is a lot of the Fords faithful screaming for an all-sides call. Doesn't look like they're getting it. And right there, I think Coach Harrod threw down the hat to try to tell the official, hey, that's where you picked the all-sides call. But we'll see what happens from that. Anyway, Jackson, errant pass. That was a crafty play right there. Scooped up. Great job by O'Hora. Keep that play up. Now Jackson over to Seaman. Seaman trying to get something. He'll jump shooting. I think that went in, and it did. My goodness, what a play. Seaman just split right through the defense, capitalized, and just scored. I mean, there's nothing else you can say. Right now it's 9-3, 3:24 left. Nothing's really going the Ford's way right now, Max.
No. I mean, the Fords need to, if they want to stay in this, they really can't, from now on, they can't lose a face-off. So they need to just get some type of offensive push.
And there's DeVitas right there winning a face-off. Touched in the box. Now the Fords will get on the people they want. And they'll try to set up shop here. Honestly, one of the key factors for this team right now has got to be Seaman for the Knights. I mean, he's just been everywhere. The brother duo really has been a great job. O'Hora as well has done a good job. Whenever there was an attempted shot by Taylor, it got stripped out, but the Fords ran it out anyway. Now they'll be underway with it. Kendra sets it up to Kranick looking, doesn't find much, trying to spin back around, trying to post up his defender now. Just getting absolutely hacked. And now he gives it over to DeVitas. DeVitas spin doesn't get much going. Now he's going to have to set back up. The Kenyan Lacrosse commit looking over his options. Shoots! Saved by Carney. He'll scoop it up and look to clear. Again, it's not a bad shot selection right there from the Fords, but they're just not going in right now.
And to stay in this game, I feel the Fords need to get 2 to 3 scores before the end of this quarter to be anywhere near in this game.
2 to 3 scores in a minute 48 is a lot to ask for, but we've seen crazier things happen. We'll see what goes on here. So now we're set back up. O'Hora with it. Over to Seaman. Seaman holding it now. Looking over his options. Dished it over to Santagello. Now over to Jackson. Jackson finds O'Hora. And he just got scared. He got a stick in his face, and it didn't matter. He got scared. Didn't want to do anything. He ended up passing it over. Now Jackson with it now. Trying to outrun everybody. He'll pass it over to O'Hora. He'll rip it, and it goes. Jack O'Hora. Now it's 10-3, 57.9 left in this third quarter of play. Starting to get a little ugly here, Max.
Yeah, and the Fords have just not looked good at all this whole game. They need to try and figure out what they want to be like.
It's gonna be big here for the Fords. You're gonna have to find out. This is the time where you can just look yourself in the mirror and you can say, listen, they could lay down and die and just get absolutely ran through. Is there is a ground ball? There's a flag thrown. Assuming there's a push of some sort or something. Now the officials conference. We're gonna call a slash. I think it's on Thompson again. He's lost. Thompson on the slash. That'll be, I think, at least his third penalty on the day. As here the Fords are maybe going to try to find a little light in the situation. There's a rip from McKendry. Blocked by Carney. He was able to just fall down. I think he might have hit off his knee. There's no way that felt good, but Fords are back at it here. 26 flat remaining in this third quarter. Fords looking to get something started. It's McNichol. Over to McKendry. McKendry. Over to Taylor. Taylor to DeVitas. The McCallion. We'll see what happens here. The Fords in the man up. Anytime they've had a man-up situation, it's always led to something. Fords will just hold on for possession to go into the fourth quarter, and that'll do it. After 3, it is 10-3. Rustin over the Fords. Max. Wasn't the third quarter the Fords wanted?
No, and this could be a little bit too far gone for the Fords to come back, but you never know what can happen. The Fords do have a chance. They just, like I said earlier, they can't lose a face-off, and they need to get constant offensive pressure.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see some of these shots that they're ripping, try to beat past Carney and get going, and then we'll see what happens there. But that's really it. You know, they've had these man-up situations, so they've started to get good pressure going, and at the end of the day, they just haven't been able to capitalize on enough of these Rustin mistakes, and they've made too many mistakes that Rustin's capitalized on to be able to really, stay completely. I don't think the score shows the competitiveness of the game, but at the same time, it's showing what team is really just doing the little things better than the other.
Yeah, and I mean, this Haverford team, like we've said multiple times, they just can't capitalize on any of Rustin's mistakes, and Rustin just constantly capitalizes on ours.
Yeah, it's a shame. But at the end of the day, win or lose, you always got to eat. So that'll give us, that's a terrible segue to an ad read. That is such a terrible segue to an ad read. I can't even lie to you guys. That was atrocious. I've done way better. For Haverford Sports Media's very own Brennan McNichol, he would be disgusted by that segue to the ad read. He would be absolutely revolted. I apologize. That was so bad. But we're going to take this time to try to shout out one of our sponsors, JD McGillicuddy's. If you guys are looking for good food and a fun time, JD McGillicuddy's is the place for you. It's located on Brookline Boulevard. It's in the heart of Havertown. It's a local favorite, and it has fun for all ages. It has outdoor dining, fun events, live music. So please, if you're looking to reach out to McGillicuddy's, please be sure to call 484-454-5289. Thank you to JD McGillicuddy's and all you do to help us out. We appreciate it. I apologize for the terrible segue into the ad read. It was so bad. I've definitely done better, and I definitely apologize. That was atrocious. I should vow to do better. That was so bad. Here as DeVitas looks, he'll give it over to Taylor, and the Fords will get set up. And by the way, we had the little weather report with Thomas St. Joseph earlier. We're just going to bring him on now as a guest. Thomas, how are you doing on this wonderful Tuesday night? Now you thawed out a little bit.
Yeah, I've thawed out. Obviously would be doing if the Fords were playing a little bit better. I was in a great mood, and then I heard your fantastic segue, and now my entire evening has been made.
Well, you know what? I'm glad I could bring a smile to your face, Thomas.
Yeah, as just a little, after you provided such wisdom earlier at the softball game, I think I can speak a little bit of what I've seen so far. And as Max has been saying, the biggest weakness so far for the Fords this game has really been the defense. I just feel like they're not creating any turnovers or any sort of breakout plays for the Fords at all. And I think that's really what's been killing them this game.
I think it's been that and the fact that there's really been no communication at all. I've seen wide open Knights, attackmen just coming in. They're just right there in front of the crease. And if you're Wade DeVitas, there's just not much you can do when you just have the ball from such a close distance.
Wade has still made a bunch of fantastic saves. He's just, you can't. Again, if the set plays work perfectly for Rustin, he can't. He can't save them all. Rustin has the ball behind the net. Oh, that one was off.
Now we have a loose freight. Things are starting to get a little bit chippy here now. Loose ball. Still not being able to be picked up. I apologize for the shenanigans that have been going on. It's not been a good time. As the sale commit, Mike Simpson picked up the ground ball, was able to run it over to DeVitas, and now the Fords will go into their clear. 9:20 left. The brothers will make the connection, and we'll go from there. So now Kranick with it behind the net, looking to find something. Doing his varying spin moves. Now over to McNichol. McNichol looking, spins, shot! Oh, good. McCallion was able to beat it out, though. Beat the goalie. Probably the one thing Carney hasn't been able to do all day is been able to beat out the attackman of the Fords. There's Kranick again, looking for a shot. He shoots off the crossbar of the post. Anyway, rang off the iron. No good. And now we're looking for a ground ball to be picked up. It's out of bounds. Now ball's loose. Scooped up by McNichol. Whistle's blown. Timeout by the Fords. 8:27 left. 10-3 Knights. There's really not much else going on right now here for the Fords. It's been all Knights. Thomas, what do you think, here's the guest speaker, the Fords have to do to maybe try to find some positives coming out of this one?
Limit the goals, right? Don't let any more goals get in. You want from everything I saw this year with any sport, it's always, if you're losing, just limit. Don't let the other team score. At this point, you've reached a point where you're probably not going to win, right? You don't want to forfeit per se, but the defense, especially who's struggled this game, needs to sort of shore up and be able to, they need to shut down Rustin's offense. That's what they need to do within the last 8 minutes.
Yeah, I think shutting them down will be a good thing. And I mean, besides that, maybe try to get another goal or two. You know what I mean? You only got 3 goals. Maybe try to make yourself feel a little bit better about yourselves. I mean, they really didn't score too many goals against Unionville. It was a 6-5 game. It was really a slugfest. But I mean, if you're here right now, I mean, you let up 10. You've only scored 3. You're probably not feeling great about your offense right now. You're definitely not. You're not feeling terrible about it because you have scored and you've had quality opportunities. Water bottles fly all over our booth. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. There's not much else, going on besides that. So we'll see. Maybe the Fords will be able to put one in. As now we'll get started back up here. The Vitas will touch in the box and now set it up here for the Fords. Looks like we're going to get some pick set plays. DeVita shoots. He scores! Just like that. Well, we just talked about it happen. Ben DeVitas gets his first goal of the senior year. It makes it 10-4, 8:17 left. Max, that was a great shot, a great play from the timeout from Coach Hara and the Fords coaching staff.
Yeah, and right now I think this is just the Fords as DeVitas takes it again all the way down the field to Kranick. Kranick looking.
Kranick has it now. Maybe the Fords will try to set up a little slower now. They're looking for something in the front. He shoots backhand by Carney. No, doesn't go. Now they're slashing Kranick again while he's on the ground. Doesn't matter. Possession will go to the Knights. I don't understand how that makes no sense to me. Why you slash somebody while they're on the ground? That's just, I don't know what to say. Now it looks like the Fords are kind of playing a little bit of a pulling the goalie pressure here. DeVitas trying to hassle Jackson, doesn't really matter though. Fords at this point just trying to force any turnovers and try to get the ball back to their offense, try to get something going.
This is probably just trying to enter tomorrow because they have a game, Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just trying to enter tomorrow on a good note, get some momentum. I know they've lost it all playing this game down 10-4, trying to get the momentum back and end this game on a good note.
There's a pass, a rip, saved by Davidas. Loose ball, not being able to be picked up. No one to pick up the ground ball to help out Davidas at all. Seaman just is able to pick it right up. Stuff it top shelf. Merrick Siemens had himself a day, ladies and gentlemen, for the Rustin Knights. And, honestly, this Ford's defense is like it's like Swiss cheese. It's allowing a lot of things to come in.
Yeah, as I said again, the goal for the defense right now should be to stop the bleeding. Do as much as they can to put pressure on the wound. And
they were doctors, I think, to be.
If they were doctors, they would. Oh, I'm not going to say that.
All right. Anyway, new subject here. Fords win the face-off here to Davidas again. I think that's going to be his third straight one face-off. Now he's going to touch in the box. He's just going to rip it. No good. Sails just a little bit wide and a little bit high. Kranick is able to scoop it up. And Kranick with it now for the Fords. Over to Taylor. Taylor's going to rip it. No good. Beat out by the Fords. They'll keep the possession. 6:39 left, 11-4. Here's now the Fords again, trying to find it. Loose ball. McCallion just got ran to the ground. There's the clear by Rustin. They're coming in, looking for the extra pass. Jackson shoots. He just absolutely beat the Davidas. He didn't see it at all. Jake Jackson, that's got to be at least his third for the Knights. And 12-4, 6:18 left. It's starting to get real ugly here for the Fords, Max.
Yeah, and at this point, it's just the Fords are just trying to enter tomorrow on a good note with a little bit of momentum so they can go into their game on Thursday and try and get a nice win and come out of this little 4-game home stint with at least 2 wins.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for. Besides that, they had a great win to start off the season and this 4-game homestand. But besides that, this one is definitely not one that you're gonna. This is one of the tapes where you just burn it up and you say, "Listen, we're not gonna watch this," or you watch it over and over and over again. It's literal coach tape of. Listen, this is what we cannot do.
I think this is a tape that
Learn from.
Yeah, you learn from. You watch it over and over. You find your mistakes. You fix your mistakes so you don't that they don't happen again.
And if you are Westchester Rustin, I think you look at this tape and you're like, listen, this is the kind of team we can be. Let's do it all the time. There's another goal. This time, I believe it is Peachin with the goal. 13-4 now. Knights on top of the Fords. 5:16 left in the game. And it looks like we're starting to get some of the younger guys situated here. Davidas to take the face-off still. And this face-off is won by Davidas again. I think one of the things you can take away from this is the fact that you have Ben Davidas kind of getting into his groove as the face-off guy for the Fords. He's really been winning a lot of these face-offs as of late. Now as they give it over to Taylor. Taylor over to Davidas. Davidas back to Taylor. Set things up. Looks like the Vitos will come out. And that'll bring Sam Thornton on. Now there's McCallion over to Cranick. Cranick's had a lot of opportunities and a decent game considering how lopsided this one's been. And it's not been for the Fords at all. Here's McCallion again over to Cranick. Maybe we'll try to find something to work. Another spin move. Not much going. Trying to shrug. Pass to a cutting Fords attackman. Didn't work. Loose ball. Still a loose ball. No one's able to pick it up. Over the half-field line. Now it is scooped up by Charlie Turner. He'll give it over to Christos McKendry, who will feed it over to McCallion. And the Fords will set up from there. Thornton. Over to McKendry. Christos McKendry. Over to his brother Nick. Nick had a beautiful goal. I believe it was in the third quarter. It was the only third quarter goal, I believe, for the Fords. And that was really the last thing that was a humongous positive for the Fords here, as the McKendry brothers had a little pass there. Liam Taylor passed right over the Sam Thornton, and I don't know if it was just a miscommunication or Thornton just lost it in the lights. And anyway, another turnover for the Fords. 3:30 left in the game. 13-14. Here's Carney, looks to try to clear it. Clear is successful for the Knights. And now we get another whistle. I believe they're going to call a timeout here for Rustin. That might make it where we might see a little bit of the mass substitutions here, where you kind of just tell everybody, listen, we're going to pack up shop. We're just going to let the younger guys get in, get some reps. Or the Rustin coaches are just telling the guys, listen, we're not scoring. We're not trying to score. And that'll really be it from there. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on. Obviously, the coaches, these huddles are definitely polar opposites right now, Max. One is like, listen, we've done a great job here tonight, but it's enough. Let's go. Let's make sure everyone's healthy. Relax. Don't be stupid. Don't make any dumb decisions or stupid penalties. And we'll ride into this one. We'll ride out this one, and we'll get ready for our next one. And if you're the Fords right now, you're kind of like, listen, nothing really went our way tonight. We'll regroup. We got another one on Thursday. We got another one at home on Thursday. We'll watch this tape. We'll go hard on practice. We'll work on what we got to fix and go from there.
Yeah, and at this point, that's really all you can do. You need to first play smart. Make sure
nothing stupid. No stupid penalties. No fighting.
Try not
chirping.
Try not to get hurt.
Absolutely.
You need everybody healthy.
It's still early in the season.
Yeah, and these Fords need to just go home, regroup, come back tomorrow, figure out what they need to fix to come back and be a better team next game.
There was a ground ball just not being able to be picked up. Possession stays with the Knights. Here's now the Fords. Try to press it up. Maybe try to force a mistake here by this Knights team. I really don't see much happening there. They're just going to shoot and score an empty net goal. I believe that was number 14, which is Jack O'Hora. He makes it now a 10-point game. 14-4 now. There's 2:43 left. I believe at some point the clock will just start running. For the Fords. And that's really it. Let's see maybe if the Vitas will be able to win this one. My fault. It looks like they've went to Taylor. Taylor wins it anyway. Now there's a flag call, I'm assuming for slashing. And the Fords will go from there. Looks like there's a slashing call on Ford's looking just to try to maybe get something to go. Here as the Fords are looking to maybe get something going on here. Doesn't matter though. They're just whipping it around looking. McCallion doesn't almost got stripped, does not though. There's the Fords just good job by this Rustin defense right now, just swarming around, looking around. There's a Kranick opportunity, doesn't go. Scooped up by Carney. The clear attempt, no good. Ball is still loose. Bodies fall to the ground. There's a flag now thrown by the official. Believe that one's going to be on Kranick, and I'm assuming it's going to be a slash of some sort. That ball is loose again. Pushed forward. Now there's a whistle. Again, trying to sort out what the situation is. I believe the official is trying to tell Kranick, listen, you buddy, you got to go to the box. And that's exactly what they're telling him. Well, we got 125 left. It's a 14-4 game here. This one's basically all wrapped up, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, if you guys look at our Instagram, please ignore the final score post. It is incorrect. As now with 1:15 left, the Fords. There's a Jackson shot, and it just goes. Makes it 15-4. And this one's just gotten ugly.
At this point, I think trying to score is just unsportsmanlike at this point.
I mean, all it's doing is just prolong. I mean, I'd assume these guys got a 30-minute ride home.
Yeah, I'd feel at this point you kind of just want to get home.
It's 8:45. I just want to get home if I were the Knights. I mean, you guys won handedly. Whatever. DeVitas wins the face-off here, gives it over to McCallion. McCallion shoots, stopped by Carney. I'll tell you what, hats off and a tip of the cap to Carney tonight. He has done amazing. He's done pretty well. He's really just shut everything down. Any good opportunities by the Fords, he's just been able to stop on the doorstep. Here. As the Fords. As now we have Jonas Ziga is. Or no, it's not. It's still Wade DeVitas. Wade DeVitas is in a goal. Here as. I was about to get excited. I thought I got wrong information. I thought Jonas was in. Anyway, this game is basically going to wrap up now as we have the final 5 seconds dwindle away, and that'll do it here from AG Cornog Field as the final will be the Westchester Rustin Knights 15, your Haverford Fords 4, and I mean, really, there's not much else to say right now, Max, except this is a rough one.
Yes, but at this point right now, you're early in the season. All you gotta do, just get back to work. Go back to practice, film, watch your film, see what you did wrong, evaluate that, and then try not to make those mistakes again.
Yeah, it's definitely something to look at. And you know what? They will be back, though, because they do see they see another Westchester team. They see Westchester East coming in soon. On Thursday, they get Westchester East here at the Nog. Well, You kind of see it on your screens now, ladies and gentlemen. We're wrapping up here for Haverford Sports Media. It's been a long day for a lot of us. We've pulled the double shift on the doubleheader. We're ready to go home. Some of us have homework to work on. Some of us have other things to do. So, for Haverford Sports Media, I am Tommy Tuahill with my dear friend Max Capello. We bid you adieu, and remember, always roll force.